When I enter into one of these relationships, I always try to explain to them that my greatest value is up front, and it will diminish. I mean, we can graph it. And the reason that is as the company becomes more operational, it's almost impossible not to be involved with it day to day, minute to minute, if you're truly going to have to make those tactical and logistical decisions. Early on, the decisions tend to be fairly strategic. What ecosystem of partners are you going to put together? What's your business model going to look like? How are you going to make money? How are you going to structure your organization? These things you can do at a fairly conceptual level. Down the road, when you're worried about how to increase sales through Best Buy, you better understand what Best Buy is doing at that moment in order to be able to render a reasonable decision. So my value goes down. Now, I normally do a deal when I start one of these companies. It's a 2-year deal, explaining that my value in the first year is greater than my value in the second year. We'll average it out, and that's the value I'm going to get. And I work for equity only. I have seldom found that I can unwind it after 2 years. And normally what happens is I become so close to the CEO and or founders that I become insinuated into a set of relationships. And I tend to go on. I tend to change roles potentially. I become more of a problem solver rather than a generalist. So it's the issue du jour, which they can lay out for me and then I can give my opinion on. But the role, just like the title, tends to change over time. And my value, I believe, changes as the company becomes more operational.
So how many of these companies can you work with at a time? I mean, is this something that
I've tried.
You have a recipe for how many you can work with?
I've tried I've learned different things in the process. I don't think anybody can generalize from it because I think, again, it's my personal experience. But early on, I would do 2 or 3 of them a year in different phases. I do one raw startup, one in its second year, and one that trailed. In 1999, late 1998, 1999, when things went absolutely crazy, I took on a ton of advisory roles in addition to these virtual CEO roles. And advisory role was just a much lighter involvement. What I found was that I was stretched way too thin to be of any use to anybody. And even though the companies tended to like me to be around, I didn't feel very satisfied with the role in that when it was that stretched. I also found I wasn't very satisfied with the role when it was not in the Bay Area. I did do a virtual CEO job for a group in LA in the radio business, and I did one in Chicago for a company that just got sold to Circuit City called Music Now. And in both cases, I found my style is so intimate that I was really hampered by the distance. So I could be there by phone and I could be there by fax, but fundamentally I couldn't walk in and put my feet on the CEO's desk and spend an hour, or I couldn't walk into a client meeting on the fly for dinner. So I learned that I couldn't sort of expand this thing infinitely into all these advisor roles, and I learned that I couldn't really deal with broad distance. And so what I've done now in the last couple of years, and the market helped me do it, is cut back and now focus on the original model, which is a new one a year, potentially 2, and then a carryover or 2, with the idea of having a portfolio someplace in the 4 to 6 range.